Hey everybody, welcome to the shop update here at Woodsmith. We're going to try and not mess it up today. It's also shop cleanup day. Way long time ago, I interned with the City of Menasha, Wisconsin Fire Department, and Saturdays were star days where we cleaned up the entire firehouse. It was kind of like that here this morning. Had a bunch of people in to get the shop all cleaned up. We got company coming in next week. We're going to get started on today's update with Steve and a really fun new project he's working on.
Hey everybody. Well, last week, if you tuned in, I was working on this little, I think they're calling it a bench organizer, out of pine, walnut handle. Some compartments here, and then this little drawer that gets slid in. And get it in there, and I fit it a little tight, so if you tip it, it won't fall out. But I think I'll put some rubber feet on it. But it turned out pretty good. I think it's be a nice little project, hold quite a bit. I was thinking I could use this by my telescope for my eyepieces, flashlights. The new project is the cat castle. It's all modular. We've got these towers. We're just using sliding lap joints here, so this can all be taken apart later to be painted. And these towers are made to be removable. So there you are. Now I got all these little, I don't know what you call these little toothed terraces to put on around, and the flags. Here's the here's the top. Again, just sits in there.
And that's a finger hole for the cats, right?
Yeah, so the cat can stick his paw out through here or the windows. So he'll love that. My cats would love this. So, not sure what colors we're gonna paint it yet, to be determined. But here, Chris saved me a ton of work by CNC and all that. What do you call these little things, Chris?
Battlements.
Battlements. So this would have been real tedious on the scroll saw. So he did all of this on the CNC for me, which saved me an awful lot of time. So, but I think it'll add a lot to the project. So that's what I got.
Hey everyone, so this week I am continuing with the Dylan designed dining chairs that match a project that Dylan designed I think last year for a dining table. So we finally got around to making some chairs for it. So I'm in the process of gluing the legs together. I have all the parts and pieces laid out over here. As you see in Dylan fashion, nothing square or straight, so we have tapers and angles everywhere. So this was quite an interesting, so this is what the leg is going to look like. So this will be the back leg, so it'll be at the angle like that. Then there's going to be the backrest that will curve round, and then a front leg, and then the seat pan. So what was interesting about this is cutting these guys, which are real straightforward. So that's got with a couple of jigs, which are these, a left and a right, because obviously we've got a left and a right leg. So puts it at the angle on the table saw. This goes up against the fence, then slides through and cuts the 45 at the same time as the tapered angle. So we've got these guys. So I'm in the process of gluing these pieces onto the legs, which is a bit of a head scratcher because yeah, that looks good, but how am I going to glue those on there? So I can't put any clamps on this long point, so I've got this genius idea. Well, it's not exactly genius, but it's the only way of doing it. It's just by putting, because there's going to be a spline in here holding the backrest, so put a spline in here and another piece of 45 in there because I need to create the flat surface to be able to clamp together with the dowels in there as well. So that was my brainwave for the day. Next, once I've got the legs glued up, I'm going to be working on dishing the seat pan, which is this guy. And it's just got a subtle dish in 2 parts, and meets in the middle. So what I'll be using an angle grinder with a dishing out bit, just to gently dish away the waste material in the centre of that seat. So that's what I've got going on. So don't check it next week because I'm not going to be here, but you can check it the week after, and I will be here.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, kind of continuing the cat theme, I swear this wasn't planned. I think Chris and I just have similar sensibilities when it comes to animals and animal welfare. So, last week we talked about the planes, which were done. I think the only thing I had left to do was I was basically waiting for an iron to come in for the chisel plane. Otherwise, I've moved forward on a reproduction piece for 273. It is based off of a Rennie McIntosh cupboard that was done for private residence. I have that modeled. I'm working on drawings right now. I think maybe we'll wait to kind of take a look at that a little more. I know we looked at some early images of what it's going to look like, but I think just from a visual standpoint, it might help to have a little bit more information. That being said, I have been working on a cat house as well, but mine is for the outdoors. So since we've been getting this winter blast in Iowa for the last week, I was just thinking about stray animals and somehow thinking of a way we could somehow protect them from the elements when it was that cold. It's probably not probable, short of them being indoors, but anyway, I've come up with this A-frame style cat enclosure that right now I'm just using combi core plywood. Of course, something like that wouldn't hold up. So the next step in the design process of this is just coming up with materials that would work for the elements or for the exterior. But I wanted to simplify the form as much as possible, and I wanted to obviously think of keeping the animal just out of the wind chill or out of the elements. At the top here, I've got a little handle installed just for easy transport. These are actually really light, so if you have multiple of these and you're putting them in different locations, it makes it really easy. There's 2 sides, a bottom and a front and back. The front and back are the exact same shape that follow the A-frame style. There's, of course, an entry hole for the cats to go inside. And then something that you don't see on this prototype is that there is a little kind of X-frame pedestal that lifts the actual house up off the ground a little bit, and that's just to create a little bit of an R value. So I think outside of the design of this function in a way that is effective is really just, again, thinking about the materials that are going to be used to not make this to the point where it'll last forever, but certainly hold up over a certain period of time and still be able to break down appropriately and be kind of a somewhat biodegradable piece. So a lot more things to think about, but again, kind of just a side thing I've been thinking about that I want to implement in real life at some point. So I'm just kind of prototyping. One other project I have for the 273 that I have not talked about, and I don't have anything to show at the moment. I'm going to be working on some torpedo style planes that are, the design of them are specific to the British Isles, which I've noticed on some of them they have these. A lot of them are constructed of exotic woods for the core, but there's a lot of embellishment on the exterior with brass and metalwork, and even possibly some inlay. So I think that'll be kind of a fun woodworking project. It's on a little smaller scale like the planes, but there's also some metalwork involved too. So for some people that like a little bit of a change in material. So I think we'll hold off talking any more about that. Otherwise, I think we'll finish up with Phil.
Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, or smart remarks, you can leave those in the comments section below, and we'll see you next week on the Shop Update. Bye, everybody.